Araba Al Madfuna for me is very special because it's really connected to Egyptian history. And usually I don't really deal with this because it's very risky and it can be really cliche and it can be really touristic and many things. But I was fascinated about this particular topic because it has also a personal experience. I lived it in one place, in one village called Araba Al Madfuna. And when I visited this village, I decided back then to make a film about it, but I never did it until 2012 when I was invited for Sharjah Biennial, and I decided really that I have to do something from memory from this experience. And of course I started again with making drawings for the first part of Araba Al Madfuna, and it became after that a trilogy. The first two films I made are black and white, and then I found that I really need to do something different in the third film. That's when I decided to make the image itself inverted image. So it's inverted in the light and the colors also. I visited this village with a friend of mine who believes that he has the power to see underground and to heal people and to discover pharaonic treasures underground. And this is something really, I cannot say common, but it's known in Egypt, where in Upper Egypt there are, of course, people that they believe that they can, if they dig underground, they can find treasures. And so in that case, the spirits or the ghosts or the jinn or whatever, they can guide the sheikh or the medium to tell him how and where to dig exactly. I was fascinated by the idea that people are using metaphysical world really, in order for them to reach materialistic and physical gold. Araba Al Madfuna is this small village that is located in Abydos. And Abydos one day was the capital of Upper Egypt. So in Abydos, if you go today to visit this location, you will find a temple called City First, the temple City First. And behind City First, there is a very special place called Osorion, which is a temple even nobody knows exactly why it was there. I mean, so there's a big gap in the information in this place, but it's still very magical place. And it has water, and it's the only temple exists in Egypt that it has water in it. When I was there, of course, I witnessed many stories of people are getting, I mean, they were healing people, and people are possessed, and all of this weird things that is connected to this world, plus trying to find these treasures. And I decided to start to make this film after a long time of this visit. And I thought it's the best is to try to invent two different worlds, like the world that I've seen, a metaphysical and this materialistic that we live in. So that's why in all these movies you will find kids, but they are speaking in adults' voice basically in all the films, in all the three films. We had many kids. We had almost 55. And yeah, very young kids, and they're extremely smart because they learn all the texts, this classical text by memory. They memorized everything. This particular story is connected to a writer in Egypt called Muhammad Mustajab, and of course I'm using his text. Muhammad Mustajab made a book called Dairut al-Sharif, and that has very short, beautiful short novels. And I connect his text to my memory, my memory in this village that it's called Araba Al Madfuna. And the story that you are witnessing, the visual story, basically is taken from my experience in this village, while the kids are telling another story. And the whole trilogy is taken from his, I mean, the script is made from his book, actually. Part of this trilogy, of course, that I was fascinated by the story itself about how people are trying to find these treasures and how to connect, as I said, these two different worlds. But also there is a sad part about this story, which is the idea of people who are trying to take these treasures and then try to sell it to whatever people who will take it abroad, to Europe or to America, or yeah. And the idea of how you get this, different elements from different time in history, and you just take it out of its context, and then you just place it somewhere in a museum in a different complete world, and you create another new story about it that we don't know even if it's real or not. And that's really what made me make these sculpture pieces. And many of these drawings also are connected to this idea. That's basically the idea of what we do here in the exhibition, in this vitrine, that we are combining different civilizations, different monuments from everywhere, and just try to make a new sculpture, like rewriting history out of this. These drawings are mainly taken from different, as I said, it's different temples, it's not only from the city, the first temple, it's just also from Hatshepsut sometimes. It's really different things, and I try to combine them when I'm thinking about this story, how people really try to take all these treasures without really paying attention to its context. So usually for me to be able not only to design, but even to understand this complex history, I need to make drawings for it. Usually the drawing is part of the way for me to think about how to construct a film. So it's more like a storyboard basically. And it's usually combining the way I make a script for a film. So what we see here from this group is basically coming from between 2012 and 2016, from different times of thinking of this trilogy. For me, most of the work that exists here in this exhibition is more connected to the storyboard basically, and it was not really meant to be done to be drawing really, as the rest of because I did of course a series of drawings that it was really made to be drawings only, but these ones were really taking from the time I was really thinking of the script and the locations, the scenography of the film, and how to move the characters.